ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all who are listening this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are towards the end of this 14th chapter. Its name is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. And in this chapter, though this chapter is very small of 27 verses only, has some very profound ideas. And as I had pointed out to you earlier, this last portion, which is called as this Trigunatita Varnana. So Trigunatita Lakshana. So the person who is beyond these three gunas. So that was Arjuna's question. It comes in the 21st verse. Kair lingaihi. Lingaihi means what are the lakshanas. Linga, this word literally means lakshana. Identifiable attributes by which a thing could be identified and one can come to a conclusion, a decision that this is it, and that would be called as linga. Kair lingaihi. Trin gunan etan atito bhavati prabhu. Etan trin gunan atita bhav. Kaihi means how are they? What are they? Kaihi lingaihi. Trin gunan etan atita. So etan trin gunan. Etan means this. Trin means three. Gunan means these gunas. Atita, one who has transcended or gone beyond. Atita bhavati prabhu. How are these? Kai bhavati. How are these? Lakshanas lingaihi. Lakshanas bhavati prabhu. And then he asks furthermore him, Kim acharaha. How does he behave? What is his acharana like? How does he move about? Katham cha etan trin gunan ativartate. How does one goes beyond these three gunas? Katham. How? Ativartate. How wonderful word this is. Vartate, as if, we sometimes with translation lose the original poetry of the words. If we just focus on these words, they are so enthralling and makes you think. See, ati vartate, it is literally translated as like goes beyond, how does one transcend. But ati vartate, if we focus on this word, vartate is like, we use this word vartamana, meaning that it is depicting of the present tense. Vartate, that how does it happen? Vartate, exist, how does it exist? Okay. Ati vartate means it goes beyond and stays. Ati vartate, the word is so beautiful, isn't it? So, how does it exist beyond that? That everything in this creation, everything in this world is subject to this three gunan, isn't it? Bhagavan said this in 7th chapter. This Maya is Trigunamayi. Then in subsequent chapters also, 9th chapter, etc. So these ideas come that everything is subject to gunas, and how does one crosses over it and exist? Ati vartate. So this ati, this word, it not only shows the extreme limit, it shows when the limit is being crossed. When it has, rhetorically speaking, when we say ati, then it shows the limit of it, the peak of it, ati. But many a time when it is used like this upasarga or this prefixes, most of the time, then it always shows the transcendence. It always shows the transcendence. Ati vartate. So this is Arjuna's questions, that how katham cha etan trin gunan. Trin means three gunas, ati vartate, that you can go beyond these three gunas. And Bhagavan, now wonderful thing is, now you see, now I have said this earlier also, that when Bhagavan, he speaks and his mind soars very high. So sometimes those boundaries between impersonal and personal, as if they obliterates or they become so vague, and very freely his mind moves one way or other. And here we find the explanation of when Sri Ramakrishna, after his this tremendous sadhana and lots of experiences and practicing different kinds of sadhanas, this 12 years of it, he says that, he recounts that experience. And he says that like a smoke arose, and from that a person of white beard and white hairs that came out. And he instructed Sri Ramakrishna that bhava mukhe thak. This is his word, bhava mukhe thak. Means like, now these terms were so difficult to understand. They were very difficult to understand. What do they literally mean in the terms of this yogic Vijnan or Vedanta? Or because there are no such previous, instances or records or to something to correspond to it to make sense of these things. But definitely, when we see Sri Krishna's mind here, we can very well understand what is that bhava mukhe thak. Many people, the scholars, they have, interpreted it or explained it, which is very right, but somehow we do not get again the flavor of his own words. In the words, he encapsulated the idea. Bhava mukhe. What is meaning? Tak means raho. Be in that state. And that state is described by that one word, bhava mukhe. Bhava mukh mein raho. In this way, that person, that rishi in that white beard said to him, instructed him. Achha. 1 second, I will take. हाँ महाराज जी प्रणाम. हाँ 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 बेश बेश हाँ ओके महाराज आते हैं. ठीक 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 है प्रणाम. So now, really, when we see Sri Krishna's Bhagavan, Sri Krishna's mind, and then we can very well match. When I was in training center, there was one Swamiji. The Swamis who gives classes to us, lectures to us, and teach a particular book or subject, they are called as Acharyas. So one Acharya Swami, he put it this way, that when you have to study a subject, three things should match. Three things should match. He said what? Like Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, if we are saying. So his teachings, so therefore it is his word, then it should match his life. This is the second thing. And third thing is scriptures. So similarly, if I take any instance or behavior of Sri Ramakrishna's life, then it is his life. It must match his teachings and also to the scripture. If I take the teachings in a precept of the scripture, it must match life and teaching of here, for example, Sri Ramakrishna. And when you will see the complete coherence in these things, then your understanding is complete. That was very profound idea. In Sri Ramakrishna's life, there were the scholars, extraordinary scholars of those times. Not like today's one, for whom I don't want to blame or do not want to take everybody's name in a class. There would be definitely there would be scholars. But I mean to say, the scholars, mostly the scholarship is breadwinning scholarship. He has to do the scholarship to take a job, or for the job's sake that scholarship is being now captive held. So not that scholarship. As Thakur used to express in this phrase, Kola Bandha Vidya. Kola Bandha Vidya. Meaning that when Purohits, Brahmanas, they go to perform some kind of puja or ritual, what do they do? After the puja is over, so those, that rice or those dry fruits or this, that bananas or that dakshina, etc., he is busy in getting, assembling those things. So his mind is in those small petty things. So Thakur said that is like the petty mindset. Anyhow, that has, of course, poverty and these other factors are also plays a role there. But Sri Ramakrishna didn't like the attitude. Meaning that doing something to earn your livelihood, and that's why doing it. So that is not a high attitude. That was Sri Ramakrishna's outlook, especially for himself. He said to his brother, I don't want to have such kind of learning or erudition or scholarship. So now, at those times, Sri Ramakrishna was told by the scholars that his realization, they have transcended even whatsoever known records to human beings in the field of religion and spiritual life. There are no such record what even Sri Ramakrishna has experienced. Now, this idea of Bhava Mukha is like that because Sri Ramakrishna's mind, its tendency is to run towards deep into Samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna always used to be afraid that if he go deep into Samadhi, probably he will not be able to return. So that's why when there is some opportunity, he is seeing that his consciousness is becoming so concentrated, he immediately is to express a desire that I will drink water, or I will eat jalebi, or I will smoke that hubble pipe. Because these were considered as petty desires, they are small desires. To fulfill them, you do not have to do anything much to drink water or to eat jalebi or to smoke a tobacco. You do not require much. So, but because he is such kind of person, because it has come out of his mouth, now Prakriti cannot take him away unless he fulfill that desire. That was his, working that particularly difficult yogic position, so that his mind is not lost into samadhi. Now, of such mind, like many times, for one example, we see when Sri Ramakrishna used to eat, Mother Sarda Devi always used to carry his food plate for him. And what she used to do, that was her tactics. That she used to talk all worldly things. What the need, or what is the problem, or this is not good, that is not good. How the worldly life is about, So, what is to happen? So, that is to keep his mind below. She do not used to speak any higher subject, or any subject which will provoke his mind to turn inward and go into samadhi. If that happens, what will happen? He will not be able to have food. If he doesn't have food, his body will not be nourished, and he will get emaciated day by day. So that's how she had learned, with that long association, how to talk with Sri Ramakrishna when he is having food. What to talk? She cannot talk anything sad. She cannot talk anything spiritual. So otherwise, his mind will turn inward and it will rush toward God. So bhava mukhe is that mind, keeping that mind something always oriented to one kind of bhava. So that's why he was all the time, he used to chant the name of the mother, always he used to say that you are my mother, I am your child, etc., etc. So always he used to keep himself in that mood. If he withdraw from that mood, he will lost into samadhi. He will not be able to do any work. He will not be able to survive or stay in the body any more longer if he does that often. And for that, he used to keep that bhakti bhava at the time, all the time burning alive. So all the time he is chanting mother, mother, mother. Because if he does not do that, then his mind will soar into that nirvikalpa. So here we see Bhagwan's mind also. Similarly, when we will see, as soon as the words of this, when he want to put something in the mode of bhakti, immediately he turns. See how it will happen. Now, this Arjuna asked this question, and we had taken this couple of horses. Prakasham cha, pravrittim cha, mohameva cha pandava. Reflective of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Prakasha reflective of sattva, pravritti implying rajas, and moha implying tamas. So, and what about these three gunas? When Bhagwan says in next line, na dveshti sampravruttani, na nivruttani kamshati. This is something unimaginable. This, for us ordinary individual, just try to imagine this person. He asked, what are his lakshanas? What are kai lingaihi? How is that person behaves? So Bhagwan says the first thing, prakasham cha, pravrittim cha, mohameva cha pandava, na dveshti sampravruttani, na nivruttani kamshati. Contemplate that heart, that in whose heart, whether there is sattva, whether there is rajas, or whether there is tamas, whatever might be rising. In tamas, that he might get very angry. In rajas, he might get very active or want to do something. In sattva, he might be totally disconcerted person, totally absorbed in his own thoughts or ideas. So, and what Bhagwan is saying? that whatever sattva, rajas or tamas may be rising or absolutely lack of it, sometimes we become very frustrated. Today I had nice, meditation. Tomorrow also, day after tomorrow also. And next day, as if where it has gone, you do not know. And you are so desperate, disconsolate, that you do not know what to do, how to bring it back, and you have no way. You are like as dumb as earlier, and at 3 days when you are thinking that you have become a great yogi, and you have immediately brought down to the floor as if you are nothing. And what does he say? Bhagavan says, that person in whose heart this prakasha, pravrutti or moha, sattva, rajas or tamas, whether it is rising, no dveshti sampravruttani, he does not abhor or does not hate if they rise. What? If sattva rises, you will not hate. But if rajas and tamas rise, you are not that kind of person, you might hate it. If at least by that time you have learned to see the mind apart from yourself, in that state. Otherwise, you become the rajas. Here is the question of hating. You will say, I feel like doing it. I feel like doing it. I feel like sleepy. I feel very disgusted. I feel like very angry. I will not tolerate this. I will not let this pass, etc., etc. You have become rajas or tamas. Where is the question of hating? Then there must be some person which do not want to indulge into rajas or tamas. Or maybe you want to do something but your mind is so much in sattva, you are not able to do that. So when there is so much of this predominance of these qualities, of these gunas, and you do not hate it, no dveshti sampravruttani, that when your mind is flooded by this, as if like hormones, sometimes we blame hormones. How do you behave like that? There are hormones, there are genes, particular kind of behavior, not only in animals, in human beings also, responsible for the outer behavior, or even how you feel about it. How you feel about it, how you will react about it. Like for example, I heard this one person who was otherwise a very good person, of very good character, of very good values and principles, very strict disciplinarian, and this person at one point of time, he had that habit of to express anger, or through anger to express his terseness, this no compromising attitude in various ways, in various scenarios. So he was not that kind of person. But this behavior of his started into excesses, explosive anger, and sometimes his colleagues were not able to make out what is there to become so much angry about so small things, and he himself is not able to control, is getting carried away into it, and it is doing too far, it is going too far, and often and repeated. And then at one point of time, it was discovered that he has developed a brain tumor. And all that was, doctor explained, this is all behavior is due to that tumor. It is putting that excessive pressure into certain part of brain and nerves, and that's why that person is behaving like that. So he is no more his own self. He's totally influenced, controlled, and manipulated by some different factors, as gross as physical. But the anger he is experiencing, that is his psychological, that he is experiencing. So that spike in rajas and tamas, that is happening definitely. So the person who is three in guna, he has definitely partitioned these two things. Gunas at one side and I am at other side. I am different from the gunas. Can you imagine this? Try to imagine your own life like that. That probably if you would be such a person, Trigunatita person, if you would be, and try to meditate, try to think like that. How will you behave? Where you are under the sway of the gunas, you do what you are not supposed to do. For example, suppose under the influence of sattva gunas, when you have to become somewhat strict and take a strong stance that no, I will not give in to this, I will not agree to this. That is what you were supposed to do, but you are not supposed to do that. Or due to the power of rajas, you are doing something you are not supposed to do so much. You should be able to control yourself. You are doing that. Or in tamas, similarly, you are doing something else. So think of your life and think always, though these things are happening, you are always separated from it. This is no joke. We may talk like that, but the taste of that individual is. So, no matter what, he would be unaffected by what is happening. Even within his own mind. That is something greatest. We have heard so far what might be happening outside of you. Somebody is probably abusing you, cursing you, or probably singing praises for you. You can remain unaffected. But can you remain unaffected when something is happening within your own mind and this person is as if untouched by it? Na dveshti sampravruttani, na nivruttani kankshati. When that state has completely, that prevalence, that dominance of those gunas has completely gone away, he doesn't seek it. Where that person might be residing, this is unimaginable. What might be the abode of that person? Where does he live? Where these things doesn't touch him. So this one verse, this 22nd verse of this 14th chapter, how great this one verse is. The goal of spiritual life. This is Jivan Mukti attained in this very life. This is that verse. That person is unattached by the gunas. Untouched by the gunas. And the same thing now it is expressed in the next verse. Udasina vat asino guneriyo na vichalyate. Guna vartante itteva yo avatishtati na ingate. We cannot even imagine. Our fantasy cannot reach there. Even our fantasy cannot reach there. What does he saying? That person is sitting as if he is udasina vat. He is not udasina. He is udasina vat, like a person totally unconcerned. Unconcerned. Udasina. He is not blind to it. He is not deaf to it. He is perfectly aware in that consciousness. He is not dead to it. Sri Ramakrishna used this expression. How wonderful. There was one devotee who used to practice spiritual discipline when Sri Ramakrishna was there. He used to practice spiritual discipline in that Panchavati. His name was Harish. Sri Ramakrishna said that true spiritual aspirant is like Harish. That is like Harish, dead to all sensory provocations. Dead to all sensory provocation. That is the quality of the true spiritual aspirant. that no sensory provocation can instigate, can incite or excite, can can move that individual to take a decision, to coerce, to manipulate, or to affect that individual. He is sitting at such a high position that these things doesn't even reach him. Doesn't even reach. Dead to all sensory provocations. Udasinavat asino, that he is sitting as if totally unconcerned. This as if word is important. That he can make his concern any of these things whenever he want. It is not beyond his reach. It is not, he has been forcibly put away. It is his own will. It is his within reach. That's why udasinavat, as if unconcerned. Like there are mothers who are very mindful of their children, babies. If sometime that will fall, that mother is immediately, she misses her heartbeat, she rushes toward her child. But there are other mothers who are very strong-willed and they are very chill. That late that the child might fall or even injure herself, she doesn't mind, because she knows that is nothing much. It is that boy's age. He will fall, he will injure himself, he will have some scratch, some blood. That is normal thing. What is there to panic about? Okay, all right. So mother is strong. So she is udasinavat, as if it doesn't concern, as if that child is not even hers. It is udasinavat. She is not udasina. She is not unconcerned. She is as if unconcerned. There is a difference. So she can make it her concern whenever she wants. Whenever that child probably needs her, and she understands that, so without her intervention, the things cannot be brought under control. So she will make a move and she will say, okay, it's all right, this, that, nothing, etc., etc. Udasinavat asino. And how? In what respect? Guner yona vichalyate. When these gunas are playing this, Tandava, this dance of these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, and their permutation combination, and all kinds of ideas and all kinds of provocation, all kinds of lures and fears, it will give rise to. And this person, guneryo na vichalyate. That person is na vichalyate, is never unperturbed. And he is sitting as if unconcerned. And what does he do? What does he think? What is his mind? Guna vartante iti. Guna vartante ityeva. Guna vartante iti eva. So gunas are playing, intermixing, they are interacting with each other. Guna vartante. Guna, these qualities, they are behaving, they are interacting with each other. And knowing this, na ingate, yo avatishtati. So, he remains seated, avatishtati, seated in the self. Yo avatishtati na ingate, that means he does not do anything. He does not waver. He is steady. Like that in 6th chapter, this word was used earlier. 6th chapter, what is that verse? यथा दीपो प्रकाश Yatha Deepo. I will tell you 1 second. Yatha Deepo Nivatasto, 19th verse. 19th verse, 6th chapter. Yatha Deepo Nivatasto. This is 8th chapter. This is 7th chapter. This is Yatha Deepo Nivatasto Nengate Sopama Spruta. He says, this Spruta, like this example is given, this Upama, this simile is used to explain something. And what is that simile? That like a lamp is kept in a place where there is no wind. Nivata. Vata, Nivata. There is Vata means Vayu. There is no Vata means Nivata. Nivatastho. When there is a lamp kept in a place which is not disturbed by wind or breeze. And this simile is used to refer what? Yoginaha yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. So, the heart, chitta of a yogi, which is controlled, yata chittasya, that controlled mind, yata chittasya, of whom? Of yogi, who has yunjato yogamatmanaha, who has employed, engaged himself in the yoga, who has engaged himself in yoga. Yunjato atmanaha yoga, yoga atmanaha. So the person who has given himself to the yoga, and the person who is qualified by this idea, yata chittasya, whose mind is controlled, disciplined through rigorous practice. He is not a joker, started fresh. He is not such person. So he, through a long discipline, who has controlled his mind. And that how is that mind is told by that example of a lamp kept in a place which is not disturbed by any wind, any breeze. Yatha deepaha nivatastho nengate, as when that flame does not flicker, it remains steady. It remains steady, very steady. Nengate sopama spruta, that simile is reminded of, to remind us of the heart of a yogi. Heart of a yogi. So similarly, here that yogi who has transcended these gunas and he is sitting there within himself, rooted in himself. Avatishtati na ingate, he doesn't flicker, he doesn't waver, steady in himself. What does he observe? Guna vartante iti. That gunas are interacting, and that's how udasina vat asino. That he remains seated as if unconcerned. Guneriyona vichalyate. Is not disturbed by the gunas, unperturbed by the gunas. What a great stage. We can only chant this. Even to imagine this, our imagination will fall short. Our imagination will fall short. How is the heart of such person? How is the mind of such person? So these are the verses. I would definitely say these verses should therefore be the matter of our meditation, because which is not, cannot be the matter of your intellect, that should become the matter of your meditation. Because you can only push to certain limit by using your intellect, your buddhi. After that, you cannot proceed further. Now, here lies the idea. We can definitely understand by our own intellect that our intellect cannot proceed beyond certain limit. We cannot proceed. We cannot do this. So, this must be the matter of our meditation. This must be the matter of our meditation. The subject matter for our meditation. So, carrying forward this idea, now it is talked about his behavior in outer world. In couple of verses, what does he say? Samadukha sukha swastha. See, again this word is used. Swastha. Swastha means when you are situated in you only and you are not going out. That is called as swastha. What does it mean by going out? When anything attracts you, when you are attentive of anything what is going on, you are concerned about the what is going on in the world, your senses and your mind is rushing outside, then you are not swastha. You are aswastha. You are then abnormal. You are not normal then. When world is drawing you out of yourself, then you are not normal. Then you are aswastha. You are not swastha. You are jagatastha. You are not swastha. Swastha would be when you are absorbed in yourself. Again, this is one verse I will like to remind you. This is from the third chapter, third or fourth. Yes, 17th verse from third chapter. Yastvatma ratireva syat atmatruptascha manavah. Third chapter. This is second. Third chapter, 17th verse. Atmatruptascha manavah atmanneva cha santushtah tasya karyam na vidyate. Look, see, I was telling you, these are the lakshanas of the Jivan Mukta Paramhamsa. This is the person who has attained Jivan Mukti in this very body. In this very body. He has transcended. He has become God himself in this very life, in this very body. He has transcended this Prakriti and all Pravritti in this living in this body. Ihariva tair jitah sargo esham samye sthitam manaha. This is the verse. This is what Adhyatma or Paramartha or this higher religion talks about. This is the spirituality. This is spirituality is about. And here, this 17th verse from the third chapter, this exactly says that. What does it say? Yastvatma ratireva. Ya tu atma ratireva syat. Atma rati evaha. Atma eva ratihi. The person ya tu means but. Ya means for the person. Whose? Ya tu atma eva rati syat. One whose rati, that is interest, his charm, remains only in Atman. Nothing else, no material thing pleases him. Rati. That his mind, does Ramana or enjoys itself, finds pleasures only in Atman, that pure consciousness only. Materiality, any sense of materiality as if it is a disturbance, as if it is a sin, as if it is a hell, he doesn't want to go to. Yastu atma ratireva syat. Atma truptascha, whose trupti. First he said rati, then he said trupti. That his contentment all comes from that Atman only. Atma truptascha manava, he is the such kind of person that's completely fulfilled, contented, completely satiated in that Atman alone. And then, again, another third condition, he uses Atmanyevacha santushtah. So first Rati, then Trupti, and then Santushti, his complete satisfaction. Complete satisfaction. Is Atmani eva Santushtah, that in Atman only he is fully satisfied. That for this Rati, Trupti or Santushti, he does not need any kind of thing from this world. Forget about anything gross or subtle. Forget about anything from others. He does not require anything of his own ideas. Can you imagine? Not only that, he doesn't need from your friends and families and his probably other people or sevak or this world in general. Not gross, not subtle, but not from him is within only. It is in his pure consciousness, his mind, and he is not therefore dependent on anything. Even your brain will fail after some time. So good things, good thoughts, good ideas, noble treatises and your poems and whatsoever your memories, even that is not required. Even he is not dependent on that. And that is the solution to peace. That is the peace can never be challenged by anything of this world. That person has gone beyond the snares of Maya. Nothing can bind him. He is the absolute free. He is not subject to any condition whatsoever. That is the person, that is the Jivan Mukta. And Bhagavan says, Tasya karyam na vidyate. He alone is the person. For him there is no duty. There is no obligation. Nobody can tell him that you must do that, you should do that. This is your duty. There is no duty. There is no duty existent for such a person. He has become one with divine. He is no more the part of material world. He is not anymore Prakriti Adhinaha. Like any other Jiva, he is not. He is not bound by any conditions. And here, that word Swastha. So Swastha is that Yastvatmaratireva syat atmatruptascha manavah atmanyevacha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate samadukha sukha swastha samaloštashma kanchana. That person is equipoised for dukkha and sukha. So imagine that these things are happening. It is not that he doesn't recognize pain or sorrow, or he doesn't recognize anything joyful, pleasurable. He recognizes that somebody is praising him, somebody is good to him, somebody is kind to him, or somebody is very hateful towards him, animus towards him, evil towards him. And that person, even seeing this as if it is non-existence, he is equipoised. He is as witness to the external events, he is also equally witness to what is happening in his own mind. He has recognized it all right. Samadukha sukha swastha. He is established. He lives deep within himself. And what is going on this surface consciousness? He is untouched by it. Samadukha sukha swastha. So this is happening in mind. Samaloštashma kanchana. This is in the physical world. Loshta, Ashma and Kanchana. The soil or Ashma, that is maybe a rock, and what you say? Kanchana, that is gold. Ashma is also, as far as I remember, uh, Ashma is rock, right? Sama Loshta is clay. Clay, Ashma is rock, and Kanchana is gold. So he is equally equanimous when the things of the world, the gross things. First, he talked about the subtle thing, Samadukha, Sukha, and then Tulya Priya Priyo Dhiraha. That something is Priya, maybe in a person or time or a place or a thing, Priya or Apriya. He says these things with the same mind. And Dhira, he is always very poised, very controlled, very patient. And Tulya Nindatma Sanstuti. Whether somebody is criticizing him, doing Ninda, or Atma Sanstuti, somebody singing praises for him. So he is always in very a balanced state of mind. Tulya. Tulya Nindatma Sanstuti. So he reads this, he sees, he experiences this is what is happening, and it is all right. He is not carried away by this. He notes, he takes a note of these things, yes, and very well. This all become childish prattle for such a person. When, grandfather and grandmother, they are playing with their these grandchildren. Grandchildren are talking all kinds of nonsense. But you will see the grandparents, they are nicely playing with them as if that nonsense is so important. It is not like that the grandchildren are making fool of the grandparents. It is not like that. They just play along the game. They just play along the game. They are not taken over, they are not carried away, they understand it. They just make a note of it, and they go ahead. They do not take it seriously. Sometimes maybe some offenses or maybe some totally ridiculous thing. So like when I was a child, I used to ask my grandfather that when you will die. So I used to ask him, very often I used to ask him that when you will die. So he used to say that I have lot many years to die. I will not die so early. Now there are so many years that you will grow, that this thing, that thing. Then I will die, he said. Then I said, okay. So the grandparent is not taking any, very offense about that, because that question or what he or she is saying, they are innocuous thing. They do not mean anything. They do not know how to offend you. And like that, the ways of the world, their Ninda or Atma Sanstuti, Loshta, Ashma or Kanchana, Sukha, Dukkha, Priya or Apriya, this all becomes the childish prattle. And that Jivan Mukta Mahapurush, he just plays along with it. He doesn't take any serious note or doesn't get carried away by it. Similarly, this 25th verse also expresses the similar idea. Manapamanayo tulya. Again same thing. Man and apaman. So like somebody is offering you a lot of mana, that is sanmana, and apamana, that is again somebody is offering you insult. Here somebody is offering you honor. So both things, these are as if they are comparable only. Tulya, comparable. Not to be valued one thing much more greater than another. all right. Somebody is offering honor, that is also all right. Somebody is insulting you, that is also very well. And then Tulya, Mitra, Aripaksha Yoho. These ideas are so great. We find it very, like pravachan we are listening. Try to imagine living this thing in real life. People talk lots of things. Try to understand if some person has to live these ideas in real life. That somebody praises you and somebody insults you and somebody is your priya or apriya. Will you see them with the comparable equanimous attitude? Treat them equanimous attitude? Tell me. Somebody is eventually will come with the attitude to harm you. He is your ripu, Ari, Mitra, Ari Pakshayoho. Will you treat equally to that person who has come to harm you? It's no joke. Consider this idea. Sarvarambha parityagi gunatita sa uchyate. So great this idea, this one another idea he adjoins here, that Sarvarambha parityagi, he does not begin anything. What a great idea. Does not begin anything. That he has renounced all initiatives. Only what situation this life might bring and what might be necessary to do, that alone he does. He does not have any own ideas. You want to do reform in the society. You want to do good to the world. None of it. None of it. You want to do good to the world. To save you from damnation so that you do not go to the hell. That is not Jivan Mukta does. He is not even worried about you. He is not worried about anything. Sarvarambha parityagi. Taking any initiative means you are in ignorance. You are not. Ignorance has not abated completely. That you feel that you need to do something, then there is still ignorance. When you see this world is perfection and you absolutely do not need to do anything, and then you have attained perfection. These were the words of Jivan Mukta Mahapurush, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Turiyanandaji Maharaj. He was great Vedanti and of course a soul of a very high order. In Vedanta we say, in Shankaracharya's language, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. And in his parting moments, he said, there was a monk who was standing his bedside. He said, Brahma Satya Jagat Satyam. Satyam Satye Pratishtitam. This is what he said. This is the man of realization. That he sees nothing imperfect in this world. That he sees there is nothing, there is no evil in this world. There is no need of your action to save the world. And that person has realized God. Sarvarambha parityagi guna atita sauchyate. So here we will take the break and next class we will take at 5:15 for almost 1 month or 2 months. 5:15, now 5:15 to 6th. Until 6th I will take the class. And then as Aarti goes beyond, then we will again increase our time. So these are very beautiful verses for our contemplation, to understand what spirituality is. We should contemplate these verses. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Okay, I wanted to tell you, so there is this WhatsApp channel. Sorry. There is this WhatsApp channel. This is Mission's WhatsApp channel. I request you to follow this channel so that if there is a class or no class, we can announce that WhatsApp channel and you can get to know. And any other notifications from the office or the mutt, if there are any programs or changes in any program, you will get from this WhatsApp channel. So channel is something you do not get the messages in your regular chats. You have to go in the update section in WhatsApp. If you follow the channel and your notification is on, you will get the notification. And then you can see if the notification concerns you. And that would be helpful. So what you have to do is, from your phone, from the Google Lens, you have to scan this QR code, and then the link emerges which you click, which takes to your channel, and then you can follow and put on the notification. Alright. So this QR code is, this banner is also outside our temple. From there also, from anywhere or in the office also, you can do that. Okay. Or I can leave it here.